Well, I recently learned in my speech class that you have about 3 seconds to get someone's attention. Well, do I have your attention now? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another one. In this video, guys, we're going to be looking at the third zombies map. We're going to be looking at Shinonuma, otherwise known as Swamp of Death. It is located in Japanese territory, surrounded by a sweltering jungle, hellhounds, and endless armies of the undead. And ladies and gentlemen, long story short, we still do not get the good zombies map that we deserve with this map. I won't lie, when it came to getting gameplay for Nocturne Toten, I was like, okay, this should be fun. I can do this. When it came to getting gameplay for Verrucht, I'm like, you know what? This sounds a lot less fun, but I think I can still do it. When it came to getting gameplay for Shinonuma, though, oh no. Oh no, no, no. Not enjoyable in the slightest. To tell it to you straight, I think I would much rather be subjected to watching a My Hero Academia cosplay contest.
I just got back from Popeyes. Do you want a bite of my chicken breast?
As opposed to having to ever play this map ever again. Now, exaggerations aside, no, Shinonuma's not that bad, but it's not that great either. I mean, I think compared to all the other two zombie maps that we've looked at so far, and especially compared to what's going to come next, this map is definitely not up to par. But let's break it down. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. As per usual, we are going to be breaking down gameplay, map design, as well as positives and negatives. And for this episode, we are going to be focusing on Shinonuma. Now, when you spawn into Shinonuma, it's your pretty basic spawn room. You got 2 wall weapons in front of you, and this version of the game you have the Shiva and the RK5, and other versions you have the Ariska and the Gewehr. Other than that, the spawn room is pretty unremarkable, other than the addition of my boy Peter McCain. But other than that, let's just get our points. Let's just get the hell out of spawn and keep progressing through this map. So as we go down the stairs and by this door, you can clearly see we got the mystery box spawn here, so it's going to have your average weapons. Same thing as all the other Chronicles Zombies maps, is that when it comes to your wonder weapons, they're all the exact same as the previous ones. You're getting the ray gun Mark II, as well as the wonder weapon.
The power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
For the honor of the motherland.
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
Hold on to your hats! You're about to get pounded! For the revolution!
Now, Shinonuma is technically the first map to ever have the Wunderwaffe in it. I know it appears in Black Ops 3 Verrucht, however, World at War Shinonuma is technically the first map to have the Wunderwaffe. Now, moving on from this sort of main hut area that you spawn in, it's pretty cool because the map splits off into 4 different paths that you can choose. These 4 different paths include the storage hut, the comms room, the doctor's quarters, as well as the fishing hut. So the Bass Pro Boys, you already know where you're going. Now, the interesting thing about this hut is that each hut is home to one of the perk machines. However, you don't know which perk is going to be in which hut. So Juggernog, Speed Cola, Double Tap, and Quick Revive, they're all going to be random, and you're going to have to cycle through each hut to get every single perk. For Black Ops 3, it is going to be a little bit different just because Mule Kick is going to be inside the hut, and Quick Revive is going to be off in the spawn hut. In addition to your perks, each of these huts also sort of has its own defense mechanism that you can use that's unique to the hut. 2 of them do have electric traps that you can use, and then one of them also has the flogger, which is sort of the iconic trap of this map. It's the big stupid spinny wood log thing that just hits everything out of the way. It's pretty much, it's the wise apple tree, guys. That's all it is, and that's all it ever will be. And then finally, in the doctor's quarters, we have the zip line, the very first mode of transportation to ever be implemented into zombies. And you have to power this baby up, and then when you use the zip line, well,
Oh my god! Wow!
it sucks. It's terrible. It licks. It is the worst thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. I would rather take the transit bus, and the transit bus is infamous for being the fucking worst. If I was stranded in the middle of a desert with no legs, severely dehydrated, and my only other option was to crawl, I would rather crawl than have to ever take the zipline ever again in my entire life. This might, in fact, be the very worst thing that Call of Duty has or ever will have in their zombies games. But hey, as far as innovation goes, it's not all that bad. This map is also very important because this is the first map to include Hellhounds. So yeah, those rounds where you need your max ammos, you have Shinonuma to thank for that. So this map might not be great, but it definitely gets points for that. In terms of map layout and innovation, I mean, that's about as far as it goes on this map. A lot like Verrucht, it innovates slightly, but it doesn't do too much. It does kind of provide a cool layout for Derice, which we're going to be talking about next time, with how Derice has your main area and then it splits off into 3 different areas. Shinonuma pretty much has the exact same thing where you have your main area, then it splits off into 4 different areas. It's just a shame because with Shinonuma, the huts are pretty useless. When it comes to the huts, this is something that I open, I see what perk's in there, I buy the perk, I leave. The only time I ever go back in there is if I go down, I need to buy the perk again, I'll go in there and I'll buy the perk again. If I like the wall weapon that's in there, I'll go in there and buy the wall weapon that's in there. But I'm never gonna stay inside the hut and just camp in there like it's the Derice catwalk. A few other different features to note about this map is that as you're running around the swamp, as long as you stay on the bridges or the grass, you know, you'll be fine. The second that you go into water, you better be careful because you're going to be running slower than a turtle. That stuff will literally be the death of you because the deeper and deeper you go into that water, the slower and slower that you're going to get. There's a really good chance that you're going to get swarmed and you're going to think, wow, before I played Shinonuma, I wish someone would have told me about the swampy water and how dangerous it was. And then you're going to refer back to this video in question, and I'm going to be like, hey, I told you so, dumbass. In the Verrucht review, I talked a lot about color scheme and how much I liked it on that map, and how much I didn't like it on Nocturne Toten because it just made the map look boring. Shinonuma falls into a weird category because the colors aren't boring. I know that they're in a swamp, so they did the best that they could with the color palette that they were provided by the environment. The whole thing with this map is that it just looks like baby shit. This map just looked like I had a lot of Hulk popsicles and then the next morning I had a sore stomach, I went to go poo and it looked like nuclear waste. I mean, that's all that this map looks like, and it's nothing that the map can sort of fix. I mean, it takes place in a swamp. If you're going to take place in a swamp, then by all means, please look like a swamp. I'm just saying, the swamp looks disgusting and I really, really don't like how this map looks. Okay, so given all this, we've talked about a lot regarding this map. What are the positives when it comes to Shinonuma? Well, Shinonuma has a lot of firsts. This is the first map to have Hellhounds. This is the first map to have the Wunderwaffe in it. This is the first map to have all 4 of the original characters in there. That is correct. Shinonuma is the birthplace of Richthofen, Takio, Dempsey, and Nikolai. Come on, bad map or good map, you gotta give it props for giving us the OGs. In addition, this map is also fun in a really broken sort of way because back in the days of World at War, this map had a zombie limit of 24 zombies per round. Meaning you could be at round 100, only 24 zombies are going to spawn until you get to round 101. So it is kind of cool to see different people get to these ridiculously high rounds because you'll see the stats that people go on for thousands and thousands of rounds just because the cap makes it so easy. But as far as good news goes, that's as far as I can take it when it comes to Shinonuma. The map, by all means, is not bad. It is very much an early years zombie map. However, when compared to other sort of earlier maps like Kino or Derice or even Verrucht and Nacht, Shinonuma is lower on that list of maps where I would jump back to replay. And I feel like that goes for a lot of people in the zombies community just because Shinonuma is one of those maps where you don't really hear people talking about it at all. So it's sort of hard to gauge popularity on this map and if people really do like it because there's always all of these other maps that people will sort of rank before Shinonuma. So it's just kind of interesting that it does have all of these first time things like our characters, our Hellhounds, our wonder weapons, but people just never really talk about it, and that's why I'm just very lukewarm on Shinonuma. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That wraps up another Zombies review. Today we looked at Shinonuma, a map that is very innovative in its own right. I think it gives us a lot of nice features that would be perfected later on. But overall, the map is just kind of meh. The map is just kind of forgettable. The map is never something I'm going to go back and replay. But hey, That's just me. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and listening to hear me talk about little Shino Numa. Coming up next, obviously, we got Darius, we got Kino, we got all these zombie maps coming up. So if you're excited for those, why don't you do me a favor? Why don't you hit that subscribe button? While you're at it, maybe leave a like for me. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video, and take care.